Hello and welcome to your Wednesday evening weirding session. I'm your host, C. Savory, creator of Fractal Praxis. I've bit off more than I can chew. Oops. This week I'd planned to embark on writing about the pillar ideas underpinning the Fractal Praxis theory. These are ideas that, for the most part, I had encountered and internalized in my early 20s, 15 years ago. Ideas that had exceptional staying power in my worldview. That is, they stuck around even after many revolutions of my belief system because of their profound explanatory power. That is to say, as ideas, they did work, like a tool helps us do work. They did work in helping organize my assumptions and beliefs and allowing me to get closer and closer to the truth. But being that I am such an amateur at academic writing, I didn't realize what a tall order that task is. The pillars, as pillars, underlie so many ideas and so much material within Fractal Praxis. Having come into my mind and my operating self many years ago, and having naturally shaped my perception and judgments since, these pillars are entangled with so many aspects of what is today a holistic worldview, comprised of my original ideas and others' ideas too, in a matrix of sense made. Where do you begin the thread when the reality is a fully reflexive strange loop? Don't worry. I am dedicated to this task and have already begun, but it's going to require something more from me. Having eschewed and avoided academic contexts for my whole adult life, now re-entering this space of philosophical writing, I am frankly an amateur. But what I've gained mastery in is flow-based stream of consciousness style sense-making as a generative process. The ability to speak into or think into a subject, generate revelatory insights, and invent novel language to help in how to think of something. This entails a mindset prioritizing associative thinking, open-mindedness, holding contingent and conflicting ideas, and drawing from a lot of reference points in my synthesis. Synthesis, a word that has both biological and cognitive connotations, is probably the best way to think about what it is I most offer. Combining intellectual and embodied knowing into something more Gnostic-like. This is the crux of what I do. And lately, as an extension of my sense-making, I've begun embracing the disciplines that will make me, one day, a top-notch traditional philosopher too. I do this and everything I've done, for as long as I've been awake, for the benefit of all beings. So I got ahead of myself thinking I could simply unpack the pillar ideas and do them any justice within the framework of creating weekly WEWS. You see, because I'm an emergence-based creator, I've typically decided what to focus on and created a piece for these weekly Wednesday evening weirding sessions the same week. But if I'm going to really take the time to unpack the concepts, I need to afford myself a writing retreat, ideally without completely abandoning this weekly rhythm. So I will be switching gears, desynchronizing the weekly production with the weekly publishing of these talks. For the next few weeks, while I will be writing privately about the pillars, I will publish placeholder, hold you over pieces from my archives. Think of it maybe a bit like intermission music. I will prioritize poetry, music, and spoken word, centering the liminal space between a soft, supple, sensitized mind and the robust sense-making synthesis that can stem from it. This kind of work from me is best followed through just sitting back and going with the flow, as if riding a hypnotic stream. Save your linear mind, your rational argument reads, for when I'm back with my essays in a few weeks. This week, I'll read 2 poems written around 2019 and 2020, and originally published on my very first prototype Fractal Praxis blog, a blog called Fractal Praxis, on the cosmos.coop platform. This first poem is called Language of Life is Lessons. Love is Bliss of Learning. This one is about the liminal mindset from which one can read the patterns in the environment and apprehend directly their fractal teachings. It is sourced from a moment in which I was raptly observing pelicans and hawks and comparing their behaviors while standing on a cliffside trail beside the Pacific Ocean in San Francisco and watching them from just such a pattern-sensitized mind, a oneness mind. Originally, this was published in 2 columns side by side so as to heighten the comparison and contrast ideas between the first and second and third and fourth segments of this 5-segment poem. Here we go. Pelicans glide easefully on the choppy breeze, in formation, so as to feed off each other's lift, like people do when their conversations circulate lift under the wings of our dreams. The falcon stays put, hard and still against the changeful air, deftly riding nuanced flux to stay in place. This is because the falcon hunts. I too have stayed still, stoic, a seeming stone against the tides of life while hunting truth, watching keenly as the world around me danced interactively. For years, such a stance served me. I seized and fed on truth, getting fat. Though today, I am rather ready to paint the sky and sea with collective arcs of easeful beauty, friendly to the forces that encompass us and me. I think it may be that to make meaning from our living is all our living needs. Second poem, Living the Art of Patterning. This poem was co-written by me in 2020, and present-day me. I kept some pieces of this writing intact and completely altered others. Please enjoy. We are the semi-conscious carriers of patterns, those we can wield with sentient mind, we can redeem. Those we cannot wield, we lose ourselves too. When I use big words, it's because they are the right ones. When I invent words, it's because they are needed. I'm not trying to sound smart. I'm not trying to make you feel any way with it. I am curating words for their meaning and it matters to me. Because it is only the strength of the stories we tell that defines the strength of our movement. That last statement, as with much I proclaim, is fractal, equally true at individual and collective scales. And this is how I live my art. I endeavor to directly transcribe the fractal patterns evident from the environment into inscrutable, ineffable claims. I am an artist, and with that comes choosing the moments I'm in and my contributions, the patterns I let stem and sing from my being, my agency expressed through the curation of patterns. And I'm always optimizing, pressurizing the claims to gain more explanatory power and break through into new insights, attempting to be radically, holistically good as a model for how we can make up ground and time in our rehumanizing, re-inhabiting process now. Take these as contributions, amendments to your soil. If they don't serve you, that is fine. Leave them behind in the wake of creation. Just know that as radical as I am, I reflect a fragment of you. I've only multiplied it. I am used to people having strong reactions to my presence because I am not just a seer, I am also a teller. At my best, I will tell you what I see as artfully as you let me. These medicine forms may be for you to sample, to dose, or to douse yourself in. Or your body may reject these, your soul finding them ill-blending, its information non-conducive to your growth edge. That is your karma, and it is empty. Yet I cannot live without recreating our world and myself, without attempting to add lucidity, to raise sentience, to harness fitness. Some patterns, some forms, are more adaptive than others, more enduring across profound environmental changes. Some knowing amounts to right understanding. Some insight reaches radically into the realm of what is required of us and reveals it. If we do not awaken to this pattern curating evolutionary context, we shall be unraveled by it. So I implore, awaken to the powerful agency inherent in meaning-making, in the development of ever more efficacious stories and durable assumptions. And may my strange invocations inspire a perturbation beneath the surface of your mind, a shimmering under the skin like a bacterium's wearing cilia, so that a process may spark that you cannot suppress, one that will work through you and rework you, making you ever more an instrument of life. Embrace the art of selection.